I'm Jungpil from NUS, the director of the FinTech Lab. And this NUSwap was a project that we started a few years ago just to help with our teaching. You know, we had classes, new classes on algorithmic trading and you know, things like that. But it was very difficult to get the students to practice. We can't say, go out and buy Bitcoin and trade, right? You know, they're not gonna fork out a lot of money just to do that. So we wanted to create a risk-free environment where people can actually test, you know, write code for algorithms, for bots, for trading, and actually test them out in a risk-free environment without, you know, all the risk of losing their own money. So we created this NUSwap, not NUSwap, but NUSwap. We want to keep the NUS pronunciation. And then we had a meeting with Lauren earlier this year. I don't know, April, May. She came over and we were presenting some of the projects that we were doing, and she looked at it, and as you know, Lauren is kind of the hub of UBRI. She connects everybody, and so she connected us. And she told us, "Oh, Morgan State and FGV are kind of thinking of doing the same thing, similar things. You should collaborate and do something." And so she twisted our arms, or my arm, and actually kind of suggested that we'd run a competition. And then Ripple would kind of contribute like the prize money for this in you know, $3,000 worth of XRPs. Very generous, thank you very much. And so we got to doing that. We ran a competition with 3 schools just to start off as a pilot program, limiting it to about 50 participants per school, and we actually ran through it. And so while doing this, you know, a lot of like light bulbs kind of started lighting up. Right, and saying, what can we use this for? So there's a immediate benefit, and then there's a longer term benefit to this. And I wanted to kind of articulate these the thinking that goes underlying this by showing you, you know, what we're thinking of doing in the future. And the main point is we want all of you to get excited, to participate, to contribute, and to kind of push this initiative forward in many different directions. So just the background. If you think about financial trading, today it's very different from what it was many, many years ago, decades ago, right? You don't have just the trading floor, you know, the informed investors, you know, just doing their trading, like doing the data analysis and doing the trading. Right now we have a growing population of retail investors coming into the market, and how that's going to impact, or how their trading behaviors actually impact the market, is a very interesting phenomenon that we don't fully understand, right? We have big data, we have AI, machine learning that's helping us with all the analytics to do trading. We have trading's becoming electronic, everybody trades on their phones. You know, we have algorithmic trading, high frequency trading, all these new techniques are coming about without deep knowledge from outside on how this is actually kind of materializing in practice. We now have blockchains and cryptocurrencies, different kinds of asset classes, many regulatory changes, you know, focus on ESG. All these things are kind of new things that are hitting us right now. And it's really important to understand, to create fair, efficient markets, to understand how this confounded big changes in behaviors is actually impacting our financial market. Very important, right? So this NUSwap was kind of, for this purpose, is to really understand and train our students to operate in this environment, and, you know, to better understand how to go about doing their trading. But also we thought, okay, this is a good platform to really study the questions that, you know, for which we don't really have answers yet. Okay, so this is what brought about. So I'm going to pass it to Valencia, who was one of the lead developers for this platform, and walk you through the key features and how the key features actually kind of incorporate kind of the thinking that we had. So Alicia, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, so let me introduce what NUSwap is now. So NUSwap is a sandbox environment for us to collect researchable data and for participants to explore complex trading strategies at the same time. So let's go into what are some of the key features. So one of the key features of NUSwap is this risk-free setting. By removing financial risk, students can focus on learning and exploring trading algorithms, trading strategies, without worrying about real-world consequences. This freedom encourages students. Sorry, not students. give me a moment. This freedom encourages participants to really go in it. To really go in it. I'm sorry. So this freedom really encourages participants to try bold approaches that they might otherwise avoid. It also helps us to gather clean, unbiased data on how decisions are made in a low-pressure environment. However, risk-free does not mean that it is unrealistic. NUSwap mimics actual trading conditions by integrating real-time market data from Coinbase. Every action that participants take is based on real-time information. This setup allows users to experience and respond to market dynamics as they would to actual trading scenarios. Lastly, we make it easy for students to learn and explore algo trading. This is crucial not only for learning, but for generating data on how trades optimize and refine algorithms over time. We provide sample algo trading codes and step-by-step guidance with demonstration videos on how to do algo trading and to help in their learning journey eventually.
Thank you, Valencia. And here comes our SimTrade Contest 2024. Thanks again, Lauren, for sparking this idea to host this contest among 3 universities, National University of Singapore, FGV, and Morgan State. Totally, we had 58 participants who were competing against each other for 30 days. So the contest started on August 2, and it just concluded 10 days back. With a relatively small cohort and a very modest data, we had some key observations that we would like to present today. The first one is we could see a consistent engagement from students, which was quite surprising because we had the contest in a vacation, like just before the semester. And the initial order trade volume was high because they were testing the water, and the tail end spike is because they were trying to maximize their profit as they were nearing the end of the contest. But the significant observation here is the Bitcoin trade volume in our platform closely mimicked the Bitcoin trade volume of the real world trend. So this is very significant observation because it shows that our sandbox environment was closely calibrated to mimic the market dynamics. And when we get deeper into this data, the Bitcoin trade volume in our platform was actually correlating to the BTC price trend from the real world. If you see, the participants were actually buying the trades when the price was lower and selling the trades when the price was higher. So this shows that they are strategically adapting to the market conditions. So these are some key observations. We were trying to test few signals from the theory to see if they hold true for the small data set that we have. While the result shows that it might, but we need more data to do a thorough research whether these signals really hold. We could see a selling bias in the participants, like we clustered them into 3 groups. So the majority of the students were actually trying to close their winning positions while holding their losing position. And most of the students preferred a conservative approach in risk. But it was very interesting to note that some of the top students were actually aggressive. They were trying aggressive strategies in the platform. And the few top students were actually holding on to their assets that were initially bought. And few students were like, they had a rational approach. They were trying out different strategies. But this is a very small data set. we need more data set to actually prove these signals and to find a behavior pattern. So we are actually excited to see what's next. Over to Prof.
Okay, so right, so what do we do with this? Like, this was a very interesting initial experiment, small scale, 3 schools, 58 participants. Going back to this, what can we use this for? That's kind of the ideas that are going through our mind right now. And again, Reshma kind of reiterated the idea that the data is small. 58 participants, very small. You don't get statistically significant and rigorous insights from such a small data set. So what we would like to do is really to open this up and open source it so that any university or any institution can actually use it. You can use it on our platforms. That's very easy. Just set up contests, set up accounts, all that. So if you're teaching any kind of algorithmic trading or any kind of trading class, you can use this for your students to practice. Okay. We can also offer the source code so that you can install it and maintain it on your own hardware. So that's okay too. We'll try to find a way to do maintenance and coordinate all the fixes, introducing new features and all that. I think we can work that out, right? So we're offering this as a platform. It's ready-made. It works pretty well. Reshma had to stay awake for 30 days. No sleep at all for 30 days just to make sure no crashes, major crashes happened. But I think it's pretty stable now. There's some kinks to iron out, but it's okay, right? So we want to use this and give it to everybody, all the Ruby partners, everybody involved, everybody in this room, so that you can actually use it, right? So do contact us if you're interested in using this for your classrooms. But the most important thing is that we want to be able to use this platform as a way of collecting, accumulating data on trading behaviors, right? And if we have 10 schools or 20 schools, 58 partners, Ruby partners, all participating and using this platform, the amount of data that we can collect will be quite substantial. So that's what we want to do. We want to use this to increase the participation rates, get more data, and to have a collective data kind of pool so that we can actually do research in behavioral finance and behavioral economics, right? To understand trading behaviors. There's a lot of questions that we can ask. These are just some samples of questions. We can kind of do behavioral analysis, look at the biases, the heuristics, whether or not these are more severe, because we can identify the individuals. Again, all the IRB things we have to get through, but we can identify, are people who are more educated or trained, taking more classes in finance, are they susceptible to these biases or not? To really identify what are the gaps, what are the pain points. We talk about financial inclusion. We really don't know how, the financially excluded population, when given access to this kind of opportunity, how they think and how they behave, how they trade. We really need to understand, what are some of the educational and training kind of points that we need to inculcate into those participants, the financially excluded. There's a lot of questions that we can ask by looking at the behavioral the trading behaviors of participants. Again, it's a very safe environment. You're doing it to learn, you're doing it to experiment. And because we have the inbuilt code editor, and we actually do, for those who are actually doing the algorithmic trading, we can actually study, because we can kind of track all of the different versions of the code that are being uploaded and being tested. We can kind of look into indirectly the cognitive processes of people actually doing developing and designing these algorithms, right? So there's immense research opportunities, and the way we're thinking about it is, we'll make the platform available for everybody. We just have to agree to, whenever we run things, we share the data, all of the data that's produced. If you're using it, you can use data from our experiments. We can use data from your experiments, so that we have a collective pool of data that can be used to further our understanding of these issues. Okay, so this is a call to action. It's a great platform, great for educational purposes. Your students will love it, but we can also use this to further our understanding, theoretical understanding and empirical understanding of these important issues. Okay, so back to the contest. Now we're going to, again, the order in which it was introduced was a bit kind of off. We want to introduce the kind of how we did the judging, basically P&L. you made money, okay, you win. Okay, if it's a tiebreaker, we look at drawdowns. Okay, it didn't happen, so we just use whoever made the most money. Again, August was a bad month for crypto, especially Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP wasn't a bad month, but Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are the three digital assets that we had in our platform. Right? And so, again, as you saw in the graphs, the middle part, when the market was bad, a lot of people are not trading. They're just waiting for their things to go back up. So using this, we have three winners, and luckily, the winners are from each of the schools. So that was a very good outcome. It wasn't manipulated at all. We don't have NUS as first place because he was run at NUS. There's no conflict with it. There's no funny business going on here. But we have Lee Isaac from NUS, Leonardo Benfica Botello from SGV, and Kazem Alkaz, first, second, and third place respectively in our trading contest. I don't know exactly how much profit they made, but in order of more profits. Okay, so. We reached out to them for some quotes, hopefully a video. So Lee Isaac is a student doing quant finance at NUS, saying a lot of great things. Active trading is risky, tired of staring at the data, but algorithms don't. So, it was an interesting and fruitful exercise for Isaac, okay? We have a video from Leonardo. So just quickly.
Hey guys, my name is Leonardo. I am 18 years old and I am currently attending business administration at Fundação Getúlio Vargas in São Paulo, Brazil. And I'm thrilled to share my journey with you all today, which ended up finally helping me get the second place in the contest. So I've been trading for about a year, and I can say that my main focus was not cryptocurrencies, but in that year surely I made some trades in this world, but it was not my main market and I was not trading every day, So I started trading because of the influence of the internet, and I started watching and following some trade influences that helped me understanding the basics of the market. When the contest started, I also began following more closely the crypto market and of course studying the specific points that could help me along the month. So I started really in the defense and waiting for some response of the market. And thankfully, in the beginning of the month, the Bitcoin fell down to almost $49,000. So I knew that there was time of buying out away, And because of that, I bought more than a half of my portfolio with Bitcoin and Ethereum. And luckily, after that, Bitcoin started growing a lot, and I could stay in the first place for some days. Then my strategy was conservative and making partial trades for the rest of the month. That made me stay in the top for the whole contest. And I think one key lesson that I learned from participating in the contest is the patience that I had to have, because I'm a really anxious person. So I made some mistakes in the end of the contest that because I wanted to stay on top, So I think one tip for anyone who wants to participate in this type of contest is to keep calm and be patient, because 1 month may seem a short period of time, but in the fact it's not, and if you want to win, you have to be patient. Linking that, I managed to learn this lesson of being patient for my future in the trade, that I hope could be really cheerful and victorious. And of course for future contests, that now I am much more prepared. Thank you, guys.
Again, this an 18-year-old kid, right? Future Ubri legend, right there in the making. Okay, so Kazem from Morgan State is Ali's PhD research assistant. It's a bit unfair, a PhD student competing with an 18-year-old. A bit unfair. No, just joking. Again, he was much more into it. His comments here, I'll just give you some time to just quickly skim through. Okay, right. So now I want to pass it over to my fellow colleagues from each of the from Morgan State and FGV to give their kind of recollections and insights about what they learned by participating in this contest. Ali?
Thank you so much, Jungpil. And also shout out to Lauren, and thank you, Ken, for what all of the work that you've done to bring us together. This has been an amazing experience for our students. The competition was really the third competition that we had on our campus. We had two previous ones with Binance US in 2 previous years. And that we had other universities involved. We had up to 20, 25 other HBCUs involved in those. And about 100 students or so participated. But what is really important about this one is the experience showed that our students were thinking about exploring in a risk-free environment. We also use, in our capital markets lab, we use StockTrack, which is a commercial product. Many business schools use it, but it has a lot of bells and whistles and all the cryptos and all the other stocks that are included in there. But this one gave them the principles that they needed in order to trade, in order to understand the dynamics of the market. And it was interactive. They developed their skills over the days. And as I said, it was a user-friendly. Jungpil and Reshma talked about all the features that this platform offers. And it can be expanded later on. Other people can take it, and it's extremely useful for pedagogy. People can use it in their courses, in investment, portfolio management. I have my colleagues from Morgan and other universities, finance professors, are looking at this, and they're really excited that they can use it. And it also financial literacy and inclusion. Not many people can go and trade with real money, but this allows those students also to participate and work. So again, I want to say thank you, congratulations for an outstanding platform that you have developed, and we look forward to working with you. And again, thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you so much. George Micheni, Director for Capital Markets Lab, Morgan State University. I was the one leading the team at Morgan State, and I can tell you that our students, they were very engaged. And one interesting thing is the competition was happening when they were on break, of course, during the summer. So bringing them back in virtually, we had to, pull some strings in there, and so they can actually participate. I mean, some of these students were actually internships at that particular time. Let me mention that although Kazim was a PhD student, if I recall, 6 of the top 10 students were from Morgan State, right? Yeah. So, yeah. So we did well. We did well. I think I was very happy to see our students, effectively participating. And as Dr. Emdan said, part of that reason is because we've run these competitions before internally. I'm the one who leads the stock track team in the capital markets lab. And in addition to them trading stocks and ETFs, they also trade Bitcoin on a semester basis. And also let me say that Morgan State managed to emerge as a top university in the competition. So I think clap for us, please. Yeah, but thank you so much for this particular engagement. I think I would say collaboration among students, not even me or anybody else, but collaboration among students was one of the successful factors. The students formed a group meet chat, and they were internally, sharing ideas, strategies. I would see the chats going in at AM, PM after work, all those kind of things. And I'm really pleased with what they did. And I think we will continue participating. I think if we start this again this fall or next spring, I believe we'll have students from Morgan State participating in this competition. So thank you so much for this particular engagement.
So next we have Jéfferson from FGV to share.
So thank you very much, Lauren, Ken, team of Ripple and NUS, Morgan State. Was great for us at FGV to be part of this pilot program. And I will share some of our experience during all the selection process and the competition period. Okay, we started spreading information among all departments at FGV. We got the help of other professors like Gabriel, which is here from the Business Administration Department, the Econ Department, which I work, and Law and Mathematics. We also engaged with the student clubs, like FGV Crypto, FGV Finance, and so on, not to attract like FGV Crypto students, because they already operate in this market. We explicitly target students that, doesn't operate still, but they intend to do so. So we thought of this competition as a bridge to bridge students to this market. And so we got 48 students, registered students. We agreed on 25 for the competition. There were some challenges, like the selection process was in July, which coincides with a vacation period. So we were like poking the students, so sending emails, Microsoft Teams. And I thought that the limited attention because of the vacation period, was limited, and it was a challenge. And also there are some cultural stuff, because we got some Brazilian specific cultural stuff, I guess, because we got more or less half of those students, 20 something, registered in the last 3 days of the selection process. We were kind of worried because we were behind the curve, but we ended up with nearly 50 interested registered students, which I think is a great number. So I had to select among these 48, the 25, and given the objectives, we explicitly targeted what we call crypto curious, okay? And I will show here. We used a similar questionnaire we received from the NUS, so we used a similar, but we added some questions like to understand like the previous experience on cryptocurrencies in general. So what we're calling here crypto curious are those that are either not familiar at all and somewhat familiar. So 90% of those that intended to participate has this crypto curious. So we focused on this group, okay? The 10% that are very familiar for this initiative, we think it's not for them. We want to focus on the other students. If you think more broadly on the investment, we were talking before, I think we disproportionately attracted very young students from undergrad faculties, like 18, 19 years old. And so this reflects on the numbers, like when you ask how many years of experience in financial markets, like no experience or beginner, they are very significant, or intermediate, so up to 3 years, either no experience, less than 1 year, and Leonardo is in this category right here, so very low experience, and I think that's great. I think the marginal gain of this experience is larger for these people, right? Okay. And about algo trading, we noted that just 4% were very familiar, self-reported to be very familiar with algo trading. So I think most people were using like very standard techniques to trade, okay, using technical analysis and more manually rather than algo trading, okay. And so I think at the end of the day, like the competition was a clever way to introduce students to cryptocurrencies, okay, to test the waters. And I think even this period, like if you remember the early of August, we got a downturn in the crypto markets, in this equity market, and it spill over to other risky assets as well. So I think that's part of the experience. You're testing the waters, so they are not calm every time. And that's part of the experience, the learning experience. And I hope the students will, like dig in and study and understand. So like I think this is the entrance for those students to this market. And I see a great potential to, like escalate the platform they use for other universities among the UBRI network, and also to use it in classrooms, like we were discussing, even conducting experiments, okay, interventions, because I know we have evidence, we know who are the crypto users, the profile of crypto users, we know that in research, but we don't know actually the trading activity, because it's hard to find data, real-world data. So I think this platform has a real good use for research as well. We could design some experimental, like to test, randomize something, to do some RCT. So that would be great for research proposals as well. So that's the experience. I'm very grateful to be here for FGV to participate. And I hope our experience could, serve to other students in the future as well in other universities. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jéfferson. So observations from NUS, pretty much the same as Morgan State and FGV as well. Great learning experience. Students were very engaged. Again, summer was a bit of a problem, getting students in, but I think our participation rate was a bit higher than the other universities. In Singapore, we have this thing called the kiasu spirit. They just have to, very strong FOMO. And so once they get in, they continue to participate. Again, I just wanted to reiterate just 2 points. This is very useful for the classroom, but extremely has great potential for research. So I would really encourage you to come talk to us. Here are the main people from the NUS team. Again, you can also talk to Ali and Jéfferson as well. But yes, we are opening this up for free, open sourcing it. We have to figure out, the right way to get all the extensions and things like that in. How do we, create experiments? We're going to do these extensions, develop these extensions so that it becomes more useful for your kind of research purposes. But please do talk to us if you are interested in doing this or even participating in future contests. I think we should have, ongoing contests throughout the year, just to, get the ball rolling, get students interested, and get them to gain, kind of realistic simulated experiences into the field so that they become more interested. They want to develop. They want to actually study more on cryptocurrencies and blockchain and things like that. So I think this is a great platform for doing that. I'm gonna just stop here and leave some time for questions.